Juneteenth, as she named Juneteenth. I remember when she started her walk here in Fort Worth. I was like, wow. I was amongst the people that, were trying to kick it off. So it's just amazing to see how that walk turned into this federally recognized holiday. And on June 17, 1921, President Joe Biden signed Senate Bill 425, making Juneteenth the 11th holiday. And with all this accomplishment, we finally got her biography out there, and that was written by Alice Faye Duncan, who you see on the screen with me. Alice Faye Duncan is a National Board Certified teacher who writes for young learners. Memory is her motivation. She writes to help children remember important moments from African American history. Her books are celebrated for vivid imagery and lyrical texts that sound like music. Alice's most popular titles include A Song for the Lindorm Books, Just Like a Mama, Honey Baby Sugar Child, and Memphis Martin and the Mountaintop, which received a 2019 Coretta Scott King Medal. Wow. Alice lives in Memphis, Tennessee. Welcome, Alice.
Thank you so much for having me, Ms. Craddock. It is a fun, pleasing pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. And we missed Miss Opal Lee. She went off camera. But I want to say, you guys haven't seen, she has the books in her background. And of course, I have the book with me, the dot copy. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully, Opal can join us in a little bit. And I want to thank everybody for coming on this platform on a Sunday afternoon. If you have any questions, you have the links across the bottom, and it's Ask a Question. Or, if I put a poll out there, I'll let you guys know. And if you want to purchase the book, you can go and purchase the book and also find out more about the book. So again, Alice, thank you for your patience.
And not a problem.
Everything's resolved, okay? So how are you handling this pandemic right now? Before we jump off into everything, I just kind of get a pulse check on everything that's going on.
So in terms of how am I handling the pandemic?
Oh, yes.
Pandemic is, it's business as usual for me. I teach school. The schools are open. I will be there tomorrow morning. So it is a blessing to be here with all of you to talk about Miss Opal Lee, to talk about what Juneteenth means, and to talk about how we ourselves, like Miss Opal Lee, yes, can be activists. Yes, we can be activists for change. Miss Opal Lee, welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, Miss Opal Lee.
Can you?
I just did your.
Donna, I heard that introduction. Clear up a few things. You got to remember, it's been around for so many years. But the modern Juneteenth was started by a Reverend Ronald Myers. And Dr. Myers was responsible for at least 42 having the celebration. Sort of Juneteenth, and I've known of him since I was knee-high to a duck. But when we got to folk, Article Society had to take the Juneteenth celebrations. Oh, Donna, we had some fun. I'm here to tell you that we had 30,000 people in a 3-day period in Little Sycamore Park. 10,000 people a day. And did we have fun? The Historical Society took some exhibits down there, but I'm not so sure anybody paid much attention because we were having such a good time. And we were supposed to, the park closed at 10 o'clock, when all they did was to pull a switch and the lights were out, and we Alice,
yes.
I got on the truck and put that thing back in, and we partied till dawn. We had a good time. We really did.
Miss Opal, you're
oh,
Miss Oprah, you're breaking up. You're breaking up, and I just I want to say we're probably gonna have to get you in the store.
Well, I want to say this about Miss Opal Lee. You know, she gave me an opportunity to speak with her before I wrote the book. And so what I know is if we put her life in context in terms of when she was born, Opal Lee was born in 1926. This is a few years after World War I. She's living in Texas. There is segregation. There are Jim Crow laws. So she's African American. She's only relegated to being able to go different places at certain times because she is Black. Juneteenth. Now, I live in Memphis. Memphis was a segregated town. But in Memphis, when you go to the zoo, if you were Black before Jim Crow was outlawed, in Memphis, to go to the zoo, you only had one day in the week that you go. I think it was Thursday or Tuesday. But in the city of Fort Worth, when Miss Opal Lee was a little girl, the only day that a Black person could go to the zoo is on June 19th, which was Juneteenth Day. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Miss Opal Lee being a little girl, loving the zoo, and the only time she could go and do the Ferris wheel, the only time she could go and do cotton candy was on Juneteenth Day. Is that correct, Miss Opal Lee? I think we're having a technical problem with that. But so we put her life in context. She is born like several years after World War I. She's born during the time, if you think about the Harlem Renaissance, and she's born during segregation. So when she's 12 years old, Opal Lee, her and her family, well, when she's 10 years old, she moves to Fort Worth. But when she's 12 years old, her mom and her dad move her family to a white neighborhood. They're one of the first Black families in the neighborhood. And you know where the story is going.
Right.
Not only does a white mob burn Miss Opal Lee's family's house down, the mob burns her house down when she's 12 years old. They burn it down on what day? They burn it down on Juneteenth, 1939. It's a Monday. She is only 12 years old. So for those of us who are listening, can you imagine what is this like to be a 12-year-old little girl? Your dad is working, I think, for the railroad. Your mom and dad, they're moving on up in the world with, according to George Jefferson might say. And then you move into a lovely new home and a white mob terrorizes you and your family and they burn it down. And so
I don't know if a lot of people can see this, but you do a very good, display. The art is very beautiful in this. I don't know if people probably have to get the book, but it's very beautiful.
And look, the artist is Miss Katora Bobo, and she's going to be coming on and talking to us shortly. And so Miss Opal, but here's another thing I learned from Miss Opal Lee, and it's also in the book. Her inspiration for being an activist, her inspiration for loving Black people, her inspiration for doing everything she could to make Juneteenth a holiday, it started with her granddad, who was Reverend Zach Rodas. He had, I think, 19 children. They lived in the area. Miss Opal Lee, didn't your granddad lived in the Texarkana, the division of Texas and Arkansas. He was like a preacher and a farmer.
Yeah, he was the Arkansas side of the family.
Right.
Yeah.
He had
40 acres in Texarkana and 40 acres in Ben Lomond, and he couldn't hire hands, so he grew them. He and my grandmother had 19 children, 3 sets of twins.
Woo!
And her
3.
brother
That's a
next
bad
to
one.
her were both born in April, and everybody thought they were twins too. But that farm was something else. would you believe when my grandpa's children left home and had families of their own, they would send us back to our grandmother and grandfather. My grandmother.
And that's what I was telling them. Tell the people how your granddad specifically inspired you to love Black history and Black people.
Well, you see, he was what we call a circuit riding preacher. There was a church in this community one time and a church over here. And so in moving around, he saw what others had. And he wanted that for his family and his community. I've heard him speak about golf courses and tennis courts and things like that. He wanted indoor plumbing. They didn't have it. And when he lost the house by fire and built another house, he built a bathroom in it. Even if we did have to put the water in that big black wash tub and take it and put it in a tin tub in the bathroom in the house. But he wanted so much for us. He did. And so, I don't know, maybe it's in my DNA, because I want that for everybody. I want everybody to have a place of their own, because I lived in some pretty rough places after they burned us out. But my parents never talked to us about it, never mentioned it. They just worked and bought another house. They did, a few blocks from where that happened. So I just keep telling the young people that it's their responsibility. They should make themselves a committee of one, because they know somebody who's not on the same page that they are on, and they need to change their minds. And their minds can be changed. And can't you think, we took 1,500,000 signatures to Congress, and we were ready to do that when the bill was signed. 3 million people on the same page, we could turn this country around.
And you have. You have. Absolutely, you have. So Opalee, Miss Opalee, tell the people why Juneteenth is. Tell them why Juneteenth is important as a symbol of liberation, not just for Black people.
Oh, for heaven's sakes! I've been telling people this is not a Black thing, and it's not a Texas thing. It's something for all of us. Freedom is for everybody. And as long as you keep your foot on my neck, you're not free. And so I even advocate that we celebrate from the 19th of June to the 4th of July. We ought to be able to get together and do things in this country, get rid of the homelessness and the joblessness and health care that some of us can get and others can't. Don't get me on my soapbox, because there's so much we still need to do. And I'm hoping that the young people who are listening to us will get up and do some of this. It's left up to them. At 95, I'm going to keep on walking. I'm going to keep on talking. I'm going to keep on saying that we need to get together rather than all this division that we see.
Well, when people think about Juneteenth, so oftentimes they think about Texas, because in the history of Juneteenth, we know that on New Year's Day, 1863, the enslaved in southern states were made free with the Emancipation Proclamation. But Texas, can somebody say it with me? Texas is big, right? Texas is huge. And so therefore, a lot of people don't understand that the reason that the message was not so immediate in Texas is because Texas was so big, it's so huge, and they had, can you say so few? They had so few Union soldiers who were pervasive in their area. And so therefore, Miss Opalee is born, you all, she was born in a town called Marshall, Texas. Marshall, Texas, actually, because there were so few Union soldiers in Texas, Marshall, Texas was actually a place where a lot of white Southern plantation owners would send their slaves to Marshall, Texas to be hidden until the war was over.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I'm born in Marshall, but it was Galveston. It was Galveston where they sent those slaves, thinking that when that war was over, they were going to go back and get them. Galveston, Texas. And it took a General Gordon Granger and 7,000 colored troops to stop in Galveston and start telling those people that the enslaved were free. It took that. We knew because we had been praying at watch night services on New Year's Day for freedom. Oh, we prayed for freedom, but it didn't actually come until General Granger and those troops got to Galveston on the 19th day of June in 1865. And if I tell you, we started celebrating, and we've been celebrating ever since.
Praise the Lord. Well, look, tell the people about the importance. Like when we celebrate Juneteenth, so oftentimes people talk about the red libations, the red drink, the red desserts, the red foods. Tell them what's the important symbolism of the red, vibrant foods on Juneteenth.
Well, I'm not sure about the red, vibrant foods, but I am sure that once the enslaved were free, they were able to learn to read and write. They were able to keep their children that had been sold away from them. They were able to dress. And do you know Black folk dress to the nines? Oh, girl. Oh, we do. They were able to participate in the legislative process, to be in the legislature, to be where they could vote. There were so many things that they were able to do that they hadn't been, eat the right foods that had been denied to. So Juneteenth has a symbol that no other holiday I know has, because so many people, not just Black people, so many people were affected by it. And I am an advocate that we celebrate just as long as we can. And I mean, I'm for celebrating all year long. So you'll find something about Juneteenth going on from my perspective.
Well, I just want to read something from my book. It's about Juneteenth being larger and bigger than just a summer holiday. It's beyond just a holiday for Black people. It says, Juneteenth is bigger than Texas singing or dancing bands. Juneteenth is freedom rising, and freedom is for everyone. Juneteenth is you and me. You know, wherever there is a liberation movement, be it in Europe, be it in Africa, those people participating in that movement can look to America and look at what African Americans have done in America as a sign, symbol, inspiration for their own. I just want you to know, Ms. Oberle, that you, like Martin Luther King is dead. Martin Luther King is not here. Harriet Tubman is not here. Rosa Parks is not here. But Oberle is here. You are alive and well. And having you here now is, you are a boon of inspiration for those who are here. And I hope that those who are listening will hear you, will catch the fire and catch the spirit, and go on and understand that whatever city they're in, or whatever state they're in, that like you, when you started walking, you were one lady in tennis shoes walking. You did not necessarily you didn't start off with those million signatures, right? You had to start off, and then the Lord sent the people to you on the way. So sometimes we have to start off and be that one voice in the wilderness.
She had to let them know that she meant business. And I want to go ahead This conversation is excellent. I want to go ahead and say Bobby Edmonds is chiming in, Miss Opal Lee. She is saying you are correct on blacks dressing like going to church all the time when it's not working. She's like, you're a great icon. And let me tell you, Miss Opal Lee, I remember, of course, a lot of people know I'm from Nebraska. And I used to cheer Juneteenth in Nebraska. And when I came down here to Texas, to Fort Worth, Texas, I was automatically like, okay, where are we going to celebrate Juneteenth? But if you know, a lot of people from Texas, Tyler, Texas, moved up to Omaha, Nebraska with the packing house. And I came back and settled in the Dallas Fort Worth area. But when I came back, I had urban bankers ask me to chair Juneteenth in Omaha. And I moved Juneteenth when I left. I moved it up under the NAACP to make sure it would continue on when I left, and then my sister came behind me. She ran it for 2 years after I left. So we've been an advocate of Juneteenth, even when we were on Evans and we were all at the house. And now to see how it's grown. So it's just been like an amazing journey to see the growth and to be a part of that growth. Juneteenth has been near and dear to my heart for probably since I got out of college in 1997, 1994, whatever. And so, we have coming up, Couture, the illustrator. Oh my gosh, she's done some amazing work. You could probably, if you guys see a display of books at the Doc Bookshop, Couture has done a lot of those books at the bookshop, and I'm going to bring her. Let me see if I can find her again.
Who is she?
Bring her to.
She's the illustrator. Couture is the illustrator.
Oh, what is that child? Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to wait till she comes back because I'm looking for her in Couture.
Let me share this one. Let me share
Oh
this.
yes. And look, I want to say something. I want to say something about Miss Opal Lee wrote a book before Couture and I wrote our book. Miss Opal Lee's book is the preeminent book on the Juneteenth history for children. So if you have children and you want them to understand the history first, you need to get Miss Opal Lee's book, Juneteenth, because it's
and Donna's gonna bring it up at the end too. Donna, she's on standby working. She's working Facebook because it's streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and she's going to come back in and talk about the Juneteenth book that's at the bookstore as well. And we have sent their books to school, even to universities, even to social groups, all kind of groups. And this is what this book is meant to do. If you have a children's group, all the children should have this book. In libraries, I'm talking about, we've been sending it to libraries, and I love that people love on the black bookstores and churches. Greater St. Stephen's Church, Saintsville, they've all bought this book in bulk. So I'm loving on the church and everybody that's getting the book. And we have, let me give her a proper introduction. Couture is an artist and New York Times bestselling illustrator known for creating vibrant images that are relatable and distinguishable. She is passionate about creating art that inspires, uplifts, and advocates for her community, our community. Couture has received notable praises for her colorful illustrated style that brings the story to life, resonate with the viewer. She graduated with a BFA from Columbia College of Art and Design and lives in Columbus, Ohio. And she has a product line, y'all. I'm gonna have to try and get the product line in the store. But if you see the books in our store, you see Just Enough, and it's all a lot of books we have in our bookstore is done by Couture, and hopefully Donna have all that ready in the end so everybody can see it.
Hey everyone.
It's delightful to
I wish to
see
keep my
you.
name out of her
Oh,
mouth.
I'm so glad to see you.
I'm so glad to see you. Thank you. So excited. I love this. Yeah, this is great. I feel like I'm learning so much just sitting here listening to this. Like, this is amazing.
So look, tell us about Katura. Tell us about the process of capturing Miss Opal Lee's life in books, like the illustration on the cover.
Yeah.
It's like a halo type of. That thing was awesome. Tell us about your experience and how you went about capturing her life and her spirit.
Yes, absolutely. So I felt like I need to do a lot of research before I even started to sketch anything down. So I stalked you a little bit, Miss Opal Lee. I stalked you on YouTube. I watched so many interviews and so many different videos of you just talking about your life. Because I when I draw someone, I want to capture not only like what they look like, but like who they are, like the essence of who they are. So I felt like it was really important to just like find as many pictures as I could find, and I went through your drive that you have on your website and found your pictures and stuff on there. And I just made a point to do as much research as I possibly could about your life and who you are as a person, and I was just amazed. And it kind of resonated with me because like you automatically made this connection with like my great-grandmother, my grandmothers, and they're all gone now. So to see you do what you do is just like so amazing to me. And it's really an honor just to talk to you and to, have done this book and kind of just like followed your life and your story. But yeah, I just did a lot of research and I tried to find as many pictures of you as I could.
Oh, Katura, you kind of touched me there. You talking about grandmas and I'm like, oh my God, she did. Oh my God, let me get my composure back. But she's the grandmother of us all. Like we love Miss Opal Lee.
I don't mind. I got big, broad shoulders and long arms, so I can love every one of you. I tell you, I can.
That's awesome. But yeah, the cover came to me just like randomly one night because I didn't know what to do with the cover initially. I had no idea what we were going to do, but I wanted to find a way to like embody you as a child and as an adult, and just being, with such a long life, it's like, how do you capture that and embody like who this person is and all that stuff. So I just wanted to show like the contrast between like a child and an adult and how, you're both seeing different things, but you both want the same thing. So that's what
you did
I kind
a
of
wonderful job. You did a wonderful job.
Thank
you can take me anytime you want to. Yeah?
I would love to.
Anytime.
So tell us this, Katura. How long did it take from conceptualization, from you understanding, okay, the direction that you wanted to go into, and then until the completion? How long did that take? Because I know some people online might be aspiring writers, might be aspiring illustrators of picture books. And so they want to know, like, what is that process, the timeline for that process? How long did it take?
Yeah,
Listen,
Go ahead.
She's talking to you. I'm sorry.
What's the what?
No, so it's a few months.
Yeah, we got an online thing going on right now. The sea moss, they haven't, he didn't put the labels on the sea moss, so we're not, only those who know Ross is coming in to buy the sea moss. He has a select group that he caters to because we don't have labels, so we're not really selling it, but he just got the purple and the gold sea moss.
Like I love the photo shoot she did with purple and gold, so that's like like I wanted to embody that. That's like a royalty thing. Yeah, often that you see too.
Well, you can get the sea moss is $25 for the sea moss.
But yeah, I just feel like a lot of times you have to dig deep and figure out what's the main things here. You know what I mean? Like in her vibrancy, her age, and the fact that it doesn't matter that she's 95 years old and she's still like out there.
Still kicking. She ain't just kicking, she's kicking high.
Yeah.
Miss Opal Lee, tell us, like when you wrote your book, how long did it take you? To do the research? What inspired you to write the book? Why did you write your book?
Oh, honey, I just felt like the very young needed to know what happened so that they in turn could get it, internalize it, and heal from it so that we can go on with our lives. I wanted all the young people to realize what had actually happened and that we can get things that happen to us, but not let them take us out. I don't know whether I'm explaining it right.
No, you're explaining it very well.
We have to heal from it. And once we've healed, we can go on and do so many great things. It's not even, nobody understands why. But we've healed from something that hurt us so much. And that has to be done. And we want people to know, not just Black folk, white folk have to heal. Everybody needs to heal from what has happened. It happened, we can't erase it. Let's heal from it and move on.
And I hear your
to
messages.
homeless people and jobless people and people who need help and climate change and all these things need to be attended to. But we can't do it until we heal from what happened to us.
Well, I think another thing too, what people don't realize is we now have the holiday because of your efforts. But in order for you to make that happen, you had to be in friendships and unity and conversations with white Democrats, white Republicans, Black people, white people. You had to make relationships and connections with people who necessarily you had to forgive before you even broached the conversation. So what you're saying absolutely makes sense. It makes sense.
There's a man in Congress who refused to give his consent when the Senate was ready to unanimously declare the holiday. And I think his reasoning was he had wanted to make Columbus Day a Juneteenth, and it didn't happen. And so he didn't vote. His long vote kept the Senate. And then he relented. I wish I could meet that fella. I want to hug him and let him know I love him. Oh, I could wallow around with it because he finally came through. And I know others who've got this thingamajig where they're all following some stupid man. Those people's minds need to be changed. And all we can do is one by one pull them aside and begin to make them know what facts are. They don't know the story. They need to be told.
And now, okay, so Ms. Obelie, now that Juneteenth is a holiday, okay? It's a holiday. Okay. So now what should we be doing now in the spirit of Juneteenth? What are some of the issues now that we should turn our focus to?
Well, have you heard me say we should turn our focus? Yep. Homelessness. Yeah. There are too many people without a decent place to stay.
Yeah.
Joblessness. They tell me there are companies that don't have workers. Ooh, Lord, I wish I could get me a drove of them and show them that they too can do the things, but they just need to be trained. That's all. Everybody can't go to college. Everybody's not able to get the health care that they need. Yeah. Somebody has to address the health care issue. I can get health care. Other people don't. And I'm not talking about this virus stuff. I'm talking about everyday people who have to get medical care who can't afford it. These climate change, that's our responsibility. We are desecrating the earth with all the stuff that we waste. And I think if we don't be careful, we all go into hell in a handbasket because we won't do what we know is necessary and quit wasting so much.
Okay, so look, stop that. Put a pin in that. Like you mentioned hell, okay? And so today is Sunday, right? So can you talk to us, Ms. Obelie and Keturah, can you talk to us, the both of you, about what part does spirituality play in your practice of civil service, activism? What part does spirituality play in your role as an artist? Either one of you can jump in.
I don't know where to start, and maybe the baby should, the young one.
Okay, we'll let the baby, the little child.
But it's in my DNA.
What?
We grew up knowing that there was a God up there, and that
I
He
can't
was
hear
going
you
to
with the
take
math,
care
baby.
of us.
I got this going on.
Hell or high water. And we've been
Yeah,
through some
it's
hell
unisex.
and some high water. And we
Was it from this side? In the middle, right? Yeah, those are unisex. The women are on this wall.
People need to know
Yeah, in the middle is unisex,
that
and
if
on
they
that wall is
have
men.
faith that they are going to be brought through these trials and tribulations. I don't know how to express it, except I was taught when I was knee-high to a duck to depend on a God, to depend on it. And I have. And I've been through some rough times. Let the baby tell you what she did.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think just remaining optimistic, like it kind of like spirituality kind of forces you to remain optimistic about whatever the future is. So even though we're all going through like so much right now with the pandemic and last year with the George Floyd incident and all that, like we have to remain positive and focus on positive things, that the outcomes that can come and turn things around and make the changes that we need to make. I think, yeah, I agree with Obuli fully. Like we have to be optimistic about the future, no matter what's happening right now. And I think there's no better way to do that than to look to the sky and know that He's got us covered no matter what. So.
I do want to, Alice, real quick. I do want to take time because I see people that are coming in through different platforms from Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and thank you for being on this platform. Thank you for hearing they're saying out there. I can't believe we're on with the hero, a Shiro. She's a living legend amongst us, with us to this day. I mean, a lot of stuff we read about, but we have this amongst us. So I do want to acknowledge everybody that's out on these different platforms. And Faye Watson, I'm so glad to be with Miss Obali. I'm from East Texas, hometown Marshall. I remember my family, the Black community and church, were celebrating Juneteenth in Marshall way back in the 60s and 70s, red pop and all. And that's from Faye. And Glenda Thompson, thank you so much for hanging on in there. And of course, Bobby Evans is still with us chiming in, and she just gave a shout out to the Doc Bookshop, and she loves, oh boy, she's been in the store with Miss Oprah Lee and Bobby Evans have been in the bookstore together on millions of occasions. And Dion in the background, you guys can't see Dion. She's an unseen hand that does a lot of she just helps us all.
And tell Faye Watson from Marshall, Texas, I want to see her. I know her.
Hey, Watson, you hear that message? You got a message. But I do have a question for Katura and Alice, and give Miss Opal a chance to relax and hear. Now that you was an illustrator, Katura, and Alice, you was a biographer. How has that changed your opinion of history and what people need to do to build their own solid foundation?
Well, I think like learning about Miss Opal Lee helped me make a commitment more to the unity of everyone. Because I live in Memphis. Memphis is a majority Black city. I teach in a school, majority Black school. So I interact with Black people every day, all day. And so, but researching her life and understanding her commitment to making friends and connections with people beyond your community, it has made me to be more conscientious of that and more intentional about that.
For me, I just learned that just through Opal's life that I want to be like her one day, and that I just want to a long legacy where it's like I'm constantly working and building up the people around me and trying to improve everybody's lives around me, because that's what I feel like that's what she's done. I think that's so amazing. Like, I feel like she's like one of those people that makes everybody around me better, and I think that's an amazing thing. And as an artist, I feel like that impact could really, be powerful for me on this. So, yeah.
And I do have some questions that are in the chat. And they said the questions are, how can we get more Blacks to register to vote and go to the poll to vote? Oh,
Okay,
that might be a Miss Opal Lee question.
Stop. No, stop. Hold on.
Oh, she got a book.
I got a book for it. People got medicine. I got books for the cure. Okay. All right. So, Doc Shop will be carrying this book, Evicted. I don't know how that title is. But Evicted is about if we educate children and we show children the importance of voting now, if we show children the importance of labor rights now, if we show children that, hey, you're not a voting age, but your vote is being under attack while you're in the 7th grade, 8th grade, your vote is under attack. Then if we make our children conscientious of the urgency, we show our children, demonstrate for our children, hey, I'm mom, dad, they're going to the polls to vote. We're taking you with us so you can witness this experience. Also, for those of us in the community who are not voting, our neighbors.
So I wonder if we got it all, Mr. Maurice. I guess you can let us
hey,
know if we missed anything on that list. I think we got it all, right? Okay.
In your family ain't voting, just like you know who in your family ain't got a vaccine. You know who they are. So then go and you have that hard conversation. Sometimes we don't want the hard conversation. We don't want to have to be challenged. We don't want to hear them saying, oh, here you go again, talking about why I need to register and vote. But you just, in the words of Ms. Oakley, you got to keep on talking. You got to keep on walking until you make it to the mountaintop and you convince those people in our community to do, and in your community to do the right thing.
I know. Oh, Miss Oakley is jumping in.
I want you to know that when I grow up, I'm going to be just like Stacey Abrams, and I'm reading her book, Leading from the Outside. I'm reading her book, Leading from the Outside, and it's got so many good points. Oh, where are you, Dion?
Donna can get the book too. Donna need to get that book. You got to get Juneteenth, Oakley, Leading from the Outside.
Leading from the Outside. Listen, I want you to know that there's so many. I'm a precinct chair, and I've got my precinct and somebody else's precinct. I pay somebody when there's an election to put out the material to make them people go to the polls and vote. I do it out of my own pocket because I've been doing this so long, and it's nothing for me to stop and talk to people and get them to go and vote. That's part of my DNA.
You know, Miss Oakley, I just love you so much. You guys, Donna's doing the back office work. Donna and my staff member, Evelyn. I need you to make sure we're going to do a post what Miss Opal is reading. And we are going to put that, Miss Oakley, we're going to put that post out there of what you are reading. So Evelyn and Donna, get ready to do that flyer.
Look, I want Miss Oakley to tell the people how many books she reads a month, because in several interviews that I read, she talks about her house is overflowing with books, and she talks about how she reads several books all the time. So Miss Oakley, tell us, how many books do you read about a month?
Girl, please. I'm reading 2 or 3 different books at the same time, and there's no set pattern. It's just what moves you and what time you have. I was thinking to have none. But I take the time. I mean, I fall asleep with a book in my hand. The only reason I turn a television on is to see one single program. I don't look at the news because it's too depressing. All the other game shows and things, I don't. But if we turn that television off and read, oh, there's so much stuff that we could have learned. I can't tell you how many books to read. I just know I read several a month, and I call that small. I've got so many of them to read.
Wow.
Me and you both, Miss Opal.
I need to know the show that she watched. The one show.
Yeah, what's the one show?
Blue Bloods. I went over and over again. Blue Bloods. I like that family and the fact that they get together over food. I love it.
I
could
love
almost
Bluebirds.
That's the only reason I turn on the television.
That's the only reason.
I think if I do my ancestry test, me and Miss Opal, we're gonna have a DNA link somewhere because I love to read. I fall asleep with books. I like Bluebirds. And part of my family from East.
Miss Craddock, we also gonna live to be 96, so you good.
We're gonna be kissing cousins. You watch and see.
We have another comment that's coming in, and I got one more question I need to ask. And Glenda Thompson, thank you so much. Miss Opal Lee is my church school teacher at Baker Chapel AME Church, Fort Worth, Texas. Thank you, Miss Lee. I want to be just like you when I grow up. We are an excellent team on getting things done at church. Love
Why you didn't
you,
bring us some
sweetie.
food?
Thank you so much, Lester May. I hope I pronounced that, but you'll probably come to the bookstore and correct me if I mess it up.
Did she say Lester in?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. She my soulmate. Shucks. We get some things done every once in a while down there. We do. We really do. And you should come to Baker. We've got a young minister that's a fireball. Oh, you should come over there. I don't mean the church proper, because we do this, what do y'all call that thing on the TV? Streaming. Virtual.
Mm-hmm.
Come at 10 o'clock on Sunday mornings. He's something else. He's the Dr. Wilson. Dr. Wilson.
Okay, we're going to make note of that too.
Yeah, you should come to Baker.
Well, she asked my question.
You give me another idea, Miss Opal. We're going to have a go to church day on Zoom with Miss Opal Lee.
All right. I love it. I love it. Wow.
And we have one more question for you. What are Miss Opal's thoughts regarding reparations for African Americans now that Juneteenth is a national holiday?
My thing and my thought is you don't get anybody who's angry with you. You got to get people on your side. When you talk in reparation, there's not enough money in the world to do the healing that needs to be done.
Hold on.
What's happened to us? So we need to be on the same page and decide what we're going to do if there's ever reparation. Money should be put in a pool. We need to address the homelessness with the cotton picking money, if there's any money. We need to address the joblessness. All those things that need to be attended to. Talk some reparations and do something about it with that kind of money.
And I want to say,
that's why I'm not paying attention to you. Why would I waste my time with you when I got Miss Opal Lee?
Thank y'all for hanging in there. And Victoria, you can't leave because we got to talk about February real quick because we got display of your stuff in the store. My mother just loves you. So before we close out, I do want to just make an announcement today. But Miss Faye, can Ms. Opal tell us a bit about her urban farm and how it helps the community, perhaps opportunities for volunteers?
Oh, well, you see, I got to go tell you that we started a food bank. And that burned, and they got this one behind my house. They were selling it for $1.3 million. I asked for it. And they leased it to us for $4,000 a month. I nearly had a hemorrhage. Where we gonna put it in $4,000? We paid For 11
Try to get
months.
ready.
We didn't have the money. The owners came to us and said we're doing a job in the community, and
But
gave
you know,
us
I got
$1.3 million building. And so
you know, I picked my
people
lips.
standing
So
in line, it feeds
my nerves is
500
bad. It's been
families a
bad.
day.
That's the only time I really pick my lips.
I told people,
So I've been
they
turning
said
them up
they like
actually.
to farm. I mean, FARME farm. And I asked the Trinity River Authority.
I do got Chicken Styles with me. She should be hooking me up.
The water we can use, got crops and things, and we growing vegetables.
Chicken Styles should be making me look somewhat decent.
And we take some to market, and we got the best farm manager in the world. Oh, you ought to bring the kids. Anybody you know, just tell them to bring those kids up to Opal.
And Miss Oprah, you know, we're going to get a list together of everything, every comment, everything, suggestions you're making. The doctor, of course, we love you, so we're going to get all that stuff on a list and make sure it's available to the community, especially during Black History Month. And Donna is on, and she's getting ready to show the display of books. And Donna is a huge fan of Katora, so I don't know if she got all the books.
I'm a huge fan of
Miss Opalee, Katora, and everybody.
Yeah, everyone on this call.
Well, Miss Opalee knows you love her.
Hey, Miss Opal, how you doing?
Real good, sweetheart.
And hello, Alice. Hello, Katura. Okay, I have your works here. First, I'm gonna start with Miss Opal, though. We do have this book in store, so do stop by and purchase this book. We do have it in store in stock.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You know.
Oh yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And of course, we have Miss Duncan's book, Alice Faye Duncan's book in store. Yay! It technically releases on Tuesday, though. So we've been taking pre-orders. It releases Tuesday, and so we got several orders, and we're excited about that. So definitely order your book and come pick it up on Tuesday. And we got these wonderful guides for children that we've been passing out as people come in. Thank you. Did you send this to us, Miss Duncan? I'm not sure.
No, it was HarperCollins, the publisher, sent it.
Well, thank you, HarperCollins. These are wonderful. The kids been loving this. We even did it during Kwanzaa. You know, during our Kwanzaa time, we shared it with the children. So that was a wonderful, because it's got coloring activities and all that. And you know, we have this pocket calendar too. With Jessie, Miss Opal on there. She's on this pocket calendar that we're giving away. So if you stop by the Doc Bookshop, make sure you pick up your pocket calendar. It's a gift to us, you know, if you make a purchase. So definitely get your pocket calendar. And it got Miss Opal in there now. She's a living legend. And these are the books that we have in by children's illustrator Katura Bobo right now. Is this one? Love it. In fact, we did an interview with Grace Byers, and we enjoyed her so much. We did it on this book, I believe. I think it was this book, I Am Enough. So anyway, we got these two books in. She has several books, and we'll get those in as well.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have Stacy's book?
Yes.
Do you have Stacy's?
Let me try to get that. You're right. Hold on.
Katura, Alice, our store is huge. It's probably 4,000 square feet. So you're only looking at one part of it. Wow. We have a stage in the back, so so she's in the I don't know, she's probably working, you know, she's probably doing customer service and doing everything at the same time, whereas I do my interviews from home because I get a very good reception, because you got people coming to the store and everybody want to have a conversation. But I do, while she's getting that book, I do want to say, Bobby Evans, we love you, and Bobby's loaded, and she is actually a book reader for our store. And so hopefully she could, I don't know, probably Women's Month next time she's going to come and read, but she has, she asked, when is the housing complex named in your honor opening?
And the museum.
Okay.
Oh, the housing complex and the museum.
I have absolutely no no idea. I've heard about it. Oh, there's Stacy's book.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to get out by that airport where they said that complex is. Yeah, Stacy's. She got some Stacy at all of us.
Oh yeah, we love her. So, and we got her fiction books. I don't know if y'all know she got a pen name, Selena Montgomery.
And Stacey has a new middle grade book. Has that
right? Yeah, we're having that coming in. That's one of the features for Black History Month. We do want to make sure that we note that what Miss Opal is reading and bring that to everybody's attention, and probably try to do that, every time she starts reading something, and kind of make sure, because at 95 she's doing what we can't get people to do at 20 and 30 and 40.
Read from the outside. That is sure enough a good book. There's just not enough hours in the day for me to get all the reading in that I want to. Bobby Edmonds for me because I love her support. You tell her that, yeah?
Oh, yes. She keep everybody on their toes and feet, especially us. That's an attorney. She's a local attorney, and she's represented some great people. But I do want to thank everybody because we've been on here for quite a bit. The publisher for HarperCollins, I don't know if she's still on, but she was very great to work with. And getting everything together, getting that event grid. So she was very great at getting us the activity guide. What Natividad? Did I pronounce it?
No, you got it.
And so I'm very grateful to her. I am going to close out real quick on Black Gold, but if there's no other questions or concerns, I will go ahead and thank everybody for visiting. Oh, Miss Opal Lee. When can we start? I've been training on 5K. So when are we gonna start our Opal Lee walk again? I'm ready.
We're gonna do it Juneteenth, sweetheart.
I know. When do we start signing up? What's coming up next? Well, people have to start signing up and doing everything.
Wait a minute. Where is this Dion who has a schedule? Dion? She wants to know. Okay, so hello, so that you can see me.
Hi, Miss Dion.
Hey! Hello, Alice.
I'm ready. I'm ready to
Kicking
keep
off our Juneteenth save the date information will come out on MLK weekend on the 15th. And so then you'll see the updates to JuneteenthFTW.com, which is our website. Announced for the month of June, because we've been right here for work. So, but the Opal's Walk and Festival are on June the 18th. But starting at the 3rd is the Unity Prayer Service, and the 4th is the Miss Juneteenth pageant, and the 11th are our Hoop Team, which is our basketball tournament, our classic fair. The 19th, we're going to have an art auction and gala on the actual 19th. The Your Voice Unleashed with the young people for the free fire dance and mime will go the 20th through the 25th. And we're looking to see if we can Greg Ellis's playback area and wrap up the entire month of June. So we've got plenty. Oh, I forgot Empowering You. That is our financial and educational job fair, health fair, all rolled up into one. So we've got the month of June planned out, and you guys will start hearing about it about another week.
Oh, we're going to be right along with you because it helps us out, because by June we're tired. And so we just like to, jump on every, just whatever programs people are having. That's what we align ourselves with instead of trying to create a whole new thing. So that's what we do.
Well, I need you to join me. I need you to join me as a volunteer and take on leading one of the that wants to volunteer. Please go to JuneteenthFTW.com and go to the contact and let us know to do what we do.
Yeah, actually, we were contacted. I can't remember the name by someone to do the help with the Arthur. So we'll definitely be supporting. I think they're doing an Arthur showcase. Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're gonna do the audio
Love you,
showcase.
young
Okay.
people.
I love you, and I am about to, while everybody close out, I love Esperanza Spouting. She does black gold. So I will probably go ahead and close out with my little Esperanza Spouting. And I
Thank
just
you,
want
everybody. Thank you, Miss Opal. Thank
everybody.
you, Victoria. Thank you,
Bye,
Danya.
everybody.
Thank you, Danya. Thank you. Love you all. Talk to y'all soon.
It was a wonderful show. Wonderful.